Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you what I think you already know, but I watch it up close. Bravery resides in the heart of Barack Obama, and time again, I witnessed him summon it. This man has courage in his soul, compassion in his heart, and a spine of steel. And because of all the actions he took, because of the calls he made, because of the determination of American workers and the unparalleled bravery of our special forces, we can now proudly say what you've heard me say the last 6 months. Osama Bin Laden is dead and General Motors is alive.
In May 2011, Osama bin Laden died in a Navy SEALs raid. Well, he has been resurrected for the Obama re-election campaign, and here to talk to me about that is Paul Gigot. Welcome, Paul.
Hey, Dan, how are you?
Yeah, so Osama is back. We're going to take a quick look at one of the fellows who's brought him back, which is Vice President Joe Biden, who is speaking about Osama bin Laden in a speech recently in Detroit. Let's take a look.
If you're looking for a bumper sticker to sum up how President Obama has handled what we inherited, it's pretty simple. Osama bin Laden is dead, and General Motors is alive.
So, is that a fair shot? Politics can be rough, but...
Well, he went on to bring Mitt Romney into this and say we have to ask the question. And he says it's a fair question to ask, fair speculation to make, whether or not Mitt Romney would have done the reverse.
Yeah.
Kept bin Laden alive and killed General Motors. So do I think it's fair? No, I think it's outrageous. I also think that it's puzzling. I mean, I think that if you're a president who has this achievement, the Osama bin Laden death on your resume, okay, it's a year later, yeah, do a victory lap. Talk about how you did it. Put it in the context of your overall record as commander-in-chief and take credit for it.
Kind of distinctive difference here. I mean, Obama himself at the time called this a testament to American selflessness, talking about the Navy SEALs. Selflessness. But this is almost the opposite of selflessness. This is self-promotion. And while in the area of domestic politics, it can get pretty rough and tumble. In the area of national security, I think selflessness or disinterestedness is the quality one expects the commander-in-chief to bring to the subject.
Well, I'm puzzled about it as a campaign strategy, because I think actually to talk about what you did to remind people of the bin Laden achievement, okay, that's I think fair game. But to bring in somebody else and say, and use it against your opponent, I think diminishes Obama. It's unpresidential. And one of the things he's got going for him, I think everybody has thought, is he's a generally likable guy.
Yeah.
They still have respect for him personally. But when you get into a behavior like this, it begins to diminish him. And I think this hurts. And I think this is going to backfire, and it's going to hurt him.
Good afternoon and welcome to Capital Account. I'm Lauren Lister here in Washington, D.C. These are your headlines on this Tuesday, August 14th, 2012. Let's go back in time. Remember the threats reported about what would happen if Wall Street wasn't bailed out?
The market would drop 2,000 or 3,000 points the first day, another couple thousand the second day. And a few members were even told that there would be martial law in America if we voted no.
That was years ago, but it's hard to forget as the legacy is still with us. Too big to fail banks standing to take down the economy while taxpayers are expected to shoulder the losses. Banks rack up a higher than expected tab, as with the auto bailouts, well, that's car companies really, while getting a slap on the hand for messing up. All right, it's been a few years, but I tell you, on any given day, we can see the legacy of the financial crisis and its response from the government in the news. It is a legacy taxpayers are still footing the bill for, while Wall Street seems to be paying less for its crimes. And that is to put it lightly. Meanwhile, yesterday we found out from the U.S. Treasury Department the auto industry bailout will cost taxpayers $3.4 billion more than previously thought. Treasury now believes this bailout will cost Uncle Sam just over $25 billion. That's according to Reuters. New controversy over GM's shutdown of its Delphi auto parts plant, and it concerns the pension benefits received by workers there. Seems the retirees represented by the politically powerful United Auto Workers Union had their pensions pumped up and protected by GM, while non-union workers say that some of them saw their pensions cut by as much as 70%. Now word that White House advisor Valerie Jarrett may have had a hand in picking the winners and losers, and newly revealed emails show the Obama administration wanted preference given to the union workers, and that is sparking calls for an investigation. And I know that there was some Hill testimony. This is sworn testimony, some from former Treasury official Matthew Feldman, also from the former White House car czar Ron Bloom, that sound like they track with that position, that it was this outside agency who made decisions about which pensions survived and which ones didn't. So what is the story now with these alleged emails involving Secretary Geithner, and how he may have done something that stands in contrast to what they testified to?
What these emails show is that these same administration officials who have testified on numerous occasions before Congress that it was the PBGC that handled this deal and not administration political officials are seen in these emails back in 2009 conversing with one another on how to go about taking away these people's pensions. So above all else, the Treasury Secretary wore 3 hats during this deal. The Treasury Secretary, in addition to being the Treasury Secretary, is also a a board member of the PBGC and a co-chair, was also a co-chair of the President's Auto Task Force. So, as Congressman Mike Turner has alleged on numerous occasions, that there definitely appears to be a conflict of interest with regard to Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner's involvement in all of these, and from every single angle here. The senior most official at the Treasury Department, Secretary Geithner, was involved from every single angle of this decision. Above all else, these emails prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the administration officials, the Obama administration political officials, were the ones who ultimately made the decision, coercing the PBGC officials into terminating the pensions of these non-union workers.
The American taxpayer rescued General Motors from bankruptcy and ruin. 80 billion tax dollars saved GM and Chrysler from going under. Did we bail out GM so it could become a Chinese company? The evidence is mounting that General Motors is becoming China Motors. General Motors has been shrinking its U.S. operations while it's aggressively expanding and investing in the People's Republic of China.
热爱真我率性而为，雪佛兰艾维欧全系登场。
This is Dan Ackerson, the current CEO of General Motors, addressing reporters in Shanghai, China in February of 2011. He was remarkably candid about the path GM has chosen after the taxpayer rescue, but few Americans know what he said. We'd better pay attention.
Almost 7 out of every 10 automobiles, 7 out of 10 of our vehicles were made outside the United States.
Let's think about what he just said. Since the taxpayer bailout, 70% of the cars and trucks produced by General Motors have been built someplace outside the United States. More and more, that someplace is the People's Republic of China.
We have 11 joint ventures in China with SAIC and FAW. We're involved in vehicle manufacturing, sales, distribution, engineering, design, downstream businesses such as telematics, financing, and used cars. We operate 11 assembly plants in China, 4 powertrain plants in 8 cities across the country. We have more than 2,700 dealerships and sales outlets nationwide.
Let's go back and listen to the very first thing he said in that soundbite.
We have 11 joint ventures in China with SAIC and FAW.
China's SAIC is the Shanghai Automotive Industry Corporation. It is run by the Communist Government of China, which owns or controls most manufacturing activity, including the auto industry. FAW is another Chinese government-owned manufacturer. What this means is General Motors, the corporation saved by the government of America's democracy, has 11 joint ventures with the autocratic, anti-democracy Communist government of China.
We regard our 11 joint ventures as 11 keys to success, not just in China, but globally. Our commitment to working in China, with China, for China, remains strong and focused on the future.
We love baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
That was in the last century, before globalization made democratic capitalism and free trade empty phrases for Americans inclined toward nostalgia. There is no capitalism or free trade, as Americans know it, in a communist dictatorship like China. There's no democracy either. But none of this troubles the leadership of General Motors. They've been courting the Communist Party bosses of Beijing for years. This is a 1999 U.S. Commerce Department report on how Communist China has played and manipulated U.S. corporations. It details how the Chinese extort U.S. technology and industrial know-how from our manufacturers with a vague promise of big profits to be made from China's 1.3 billion people. According to the Commerce Department report, GM beat out other prospective foreign partners with a more than $1 billion bid to produce a variation of Buick sedans with the Shanghai Automotive Industry Corporation, SAIC. One of the major factors, if not the main impetus for the subsequent contract award, was GM's willingness to transfer a good deal of state-of-the-art technology. The fact that technology transfer was indeed the price extracted from GM for the joint venture contract is confirmed by internal GM documents. That Commerce Department report on GM and China was 13 years ago.
We're now building out the Advanced Technology Center, which will bring our research and development that is centered largely in the United States. We're going to diversify that more into China because we think this market is so critically important to the success of our company.
But Mitt Romney today, you just saw in Colorado, which is one of the important battleground states, making the point that President Obama has an outsourcing problem.
Yeah, he does. And the outsourcing issue really causes two problems for President Obama. One, it underscores his dishonesty. The ad they were running, which all the independent fact-checking groups have said is dishonest, ends with President Obama saying, "I'm President Obama and I approve this message." It should say, "I'm President Obama, I approve this dishonest message." And the second problem he has with outsourcing is that there is a huge amount of outsourcing which was driven by Obama policy. The money, the $500 million they gave to Fisker created jobs in Finland. The solar energy grants they gave and created jobs in Mexico. The wind turbine grants they gave created jobs in Denmark. So the point that I think is really interesting is that the outsourcing issue underscores how few smarts there are in this White House and in this Obama campaign, that they expose themselves to the response criticism that I think, unlike what Mr. Solicitor said, is going to end up making this a winning issue for Mitt Romney.
But isn't it a winning issue for the White House fundamentally? Granted that the PolitiFact folks and the Washington Post pointed out that the president's campaign ad on that issue had a lot of questions and a lot of questionable attack lines.
No, they said it was wrong. A lot of questions is not right. It was wrong.
Okay.